Welcome back to another episode of the Blitz. We took a hiatus last week, but if you notice, we have a very special guest on the podcast, a face that we have not seen recently since really the draft. We didn't even see him at the draft, but we have none other than Nico Liguori here, joined with some of his children. Nick, say hello to the people. We're happy to have you on.
What's up, people? I hope you're ready for this. I'm about to kill it.
Nick is ready to spit some fire, he said, as I have the 49ers game on. Matt Brady's ready for a huge rush. Commissioner could not make it today, but we have our co-host Baby Sal with us. As always, he's on the road, but he was kind enough to dial in, so we appreciate that. And before we get to the power rankings like we normally do and run through the team breakdown, I'm going to give the floor to Nick. Reason being is he's not in communication with us every day like everyone else in the league is, so he has a lot to say. He's kind of been out of the loop, so I really want to hear his opinions on how the league's going, who he thinks some of the strong teams are. It's a lot about the trade controversy, him missing some of the draft, auto picking his team, and working his way out of it from the bottom to the top. So whenever you're ready, Nick, I'm going to give you the floor. And, I don't really have any questions for you. I'm going to let you spit and whatever it is you got to say. This is the time to get it off. Call out whoever you want, and then we'll get to the rankings after. So go for it, man.
All right. You guys hear me?
We can.
All right. Well, first and foremost, I think the season has been going pretty well. I'm sorry. Hey, chill out. All right. So first, I'm going to start off. I need to call. I need to shout out our cousin Joey first and foremost for. I did watch a couple podcasts where he was getting bashed in the beginning about how bad his team was. And he's immediately turned it around. So I need to give him big praise for that. I did some trades with him, and he played some waivers and he did what he had to do. He stuck to his team. Really, he's made some moves, nothing too crazy, but he stuck to his guns and look at him now, 4-4. He's right in the mix to even make a playoff run. So good for him.
Yep.
Big boy, and is Ant still with him?
Right. Yeah, they're
co-commissioning or whatever's going on.
Right.
Hey, I made a big trade with Big Boy. I think it was even. I gave him the big boom that his team needed. And I think I did it to a team that I think is almost close to out of playoff contention. So that was one of the big reasons why I did that trade. I thought I wasn't going to be, I'm not giving them to a team that I'm really competing with, but who knows? I might have just turned him around where next thing you know, he might go on to win and somehow, some way make the playoffs. I know he's mathematically almost out, but hey, I just kept him in it. And I think it was great for the league what I did to be able to keep him in it. So that was one thing. So hopefully Big Boy and them continue to turn it around and make maybe another move or two, or I think their team might be pretty good from here on out. So that's what I think about Big Boy. From there, Junior, I'm going to tell you this right now. I think Junior has one of the worst teams in the league. I don't know how he even won a game. His team, I just don't see it. I could very see him dropping bottom two quickly. I'm surprised he's pulling off these wins. And that's the God's honest truth about his team. I just want to skim through some things right here. Chris Hansen, this motherfucker, Chris Hansen. His team is not that bad on paper. They're not great, but they're not that bad. He's not a bottom two team. I think Junior's team is worse than his, to be honest. That's my opinion. I do think Junior's team is worse than Chris. I don't know how Chris is in that bottom two. I took a loss from him this weekend, but I mean he needs to make some moves though. I think I just don't understand why he doesn't make moves. His team's not that good to be sitting on, but they're not. They're definitely not bottom two. And then I already quoted on Joey. Let's go to decline trades. I don't even know who this kid is. His team is garbage. He should be out of the league. His team's terrible. His team is terrible. I don't even know how he's won a game. He's right there with Junior. Yeah, he's terrible. I don't even know. There's
Donnie.
not much to say about what's his name?
Anthony Donahue. Hey, Don.
I don't know him, but I'm sorry, Anthony Donahue, whatever you want to say, yoo-hoo. Your team's trash. All right, I'm sorry, bro.
You're going
But
against this weekend.
yeah, and I might even lose because my team's not doing so well. But his team on paper is trash. His running backs aren't that bad. His wide receivers are iffy, and obviously he's got two of the better quarterbacks. That's what he's kind of weighing his team on, and that's not good. Marky Mark. Oh shit, who's Marky Mark?
That's Nick Santuccio.
Nick
The other
Santuccio.
The
Nick
other.
Santuccio. All right. I mean, I've looked at his team quite a few times. All right, I thought he had a deep team. I thought. Now looking at it, I don't know what happened. I don't know if just his bench players are starting to fizzle out and they're not starting to perform like maybe we used to see them perform. So I don't think his team is as deep as we all thought. I used to think it was very deep, and I used to try to get some trades, and he sends the wackest of whack trades out there. I don't know what he thinks when he tries to trade people, but he's got to get his shit straight. And he could definitely make some moves, though, to better his team. His team's good. His team's good, but he needs to make some moves, definitely. Especially if he wants to make a good playoff run, and he could be dangerous if he gets into the playoffs because his team is tough. But again, he continues to send these whack ass trades out. I think everybody sees them, and they're asinine. It's just bullshit. You know, get your shit together, kid. All right, and send some good trades out and make the league better. Not try to make it worse.
Shots taken
right.
at Tooch.
So I really don't give a fuck to tell you how it is. Sony Leone. That's Luca Duccio, right?
That's right. That's your ex-flag football team partner. What do you got?
Yeah, I don't really care. Our team got better, so I ain't worried about that. I mean, flag football. You guys want to talk about flag football real quick? I'll touch that real quick. Luca Duccio, you made a bad move, brother. All right, it's gonna come back and haunt you. All right, now. You're gonna have to defend me, bro. So I'll see you on the field.
All right, you heard that here first.
All right.
All right, Dylan, let's go, baby.
So let's go about his team real quick. Luca Dooch, whatever you want to call yourself. I don't know. Your team's kind of whack too, bro.
All right.
Your team kind of reminds me of Junior's team. Like somehow they're hanging around. But I don't know. You could do some moves. Let's get you talking. Your team's all right. You're hanging there, but I can't see you making big money moves, or I don't think you're a contender. You know, I just don't see you contending for anything. You could just continue to be mediocre if that's the life you want to live, or you can make money moves with some trades and try to get the big boy status. All right.
We got you and your brother next coming up. What do you think about you and then your two brothers? What do you think about
Luke
Liguori-Koempel?
Legs? I think he destroyed his team on the Amari Cooper trade. I think his team is done. I'm honestly, I mean, yeah, I think he destroyed his team on that Amari Cooper trade. I didn't think he needed a trade. His team was good. You know, and I can't say I don't know. I could see him not making the playoffs. I'll tell you that. He is sitting in that fifth spot. I think it's lucky. I think I see him maybe not missing the playoffs. I don't know. But we'll come back to him when we get to the rankings with everybody else. But I tell him every day. I'll call him randomly, and when he's in school, to haunt him about that trade. That'll be a random day during the week. I'll call him Wednesday at 1:00 just to leave him a voicemail about that trade. Because that shit. I mean, hey, good for you, but he just fucked himself. So you did what you had to do, but he's an idiot. All right, and then me. Or no, my brother Sal. Well, yeah, I can go over myself real quick. I don't give a fuck. The only thing I really got to touch is, I worked my way. Auto draft, whatever. I auto drafted maybe 50. I picked up some. I was busy. You know, I wasn't really worried. I knew auto draft would do me all right. You know, and I knew I could make moves and trades to fix my shit. You know, and that's what I did. And then, hey, I'm still willing to take trade offers, or whatever I got to do. If I think they're good for my team, I think they're good. I'm not bad at fantasy football. I know my shit, and I'll take a good trade, not a fucking tooch to dooch trade. All right. But that's it. I think my team is a contender. I don't think I'll win it. Is it possible? Because I did beat you once already. Yeah, I think so. It is possible. I think anything's possible with between my team, your team, even somehow my brother Sal's team, and Weezer's team. But I'll touch off that. My brother's team right now, me and him were in serious trade talks a handful of times. A handful of times about some trades, and we just couldn't get something done. His team's lingering around. He definitely knows. I think his team needs to get better. I think Sal knows that. So he is trying to make some trades to better his team, and that's what he needs to do if he wants to win this thing. I don't think he has enough to win it, even though he did just beat you too. But I think he could use another move or so, and then we get the Weezer. This guy, Weezer. His team, they're besides Christian McCaffrey, obviously that's the all-star in his team. His team's pretty fluently strong. There's not that he has consistent players on his team that are putting up consistent points. And that's all his team. That's it. I mean, his team's pretty simple. There's nothing sweet to it besides Christian McCaffrey. Other than that, he's got a pretty solid, strong team. All consistent players. So I'm kind of surprised at how good his team's actually doing. But we're gonna see just how long that lasts. I think his luck might be running out pretty soon, so he might need to be making some moves. Hopefully, Melvin Gordon could turn up and for him and help him out a little more though. And then it comes to the Don Chubb.
That's me.
Team's loaded. I mean, there's not much to say. Team's loaded, but they're beatable. I mean, we just showed it the past 2 weeks in a row, but the team's loaded. That's the bottom line. It's a loaded-ass fucking team. And really to beat you, the way I beat you is I did a lot of research into who I was playing that week and waivers and trades and did what I had to do. Basically, I took your game as a playoff game in my head when I played you. And I scripted it well, and I saw you had I'm not going to count Odell as one of your better guys. I think he's one of your not so good guys right now. And you had no Chubb, who he's been putting on pretty good. And then I was out with I didn't have my two better guys too. So
years I didn't have the Browns. So yeah, kind of.
Yeah, so it was evened out, and then so I just played the game of what can I do to beat him if this is a playoff game, and that's how I scripted it. And I came out right, and that's how I did it. But, I mean, that's how everybody needs to play you. They can't just go in and playing you saying, oh, we took the L because of how loaded your team is. And that's good for you. You did your work. You did your homework. You did a full draft. And good for you. But you are beatable. We showed it, and we'll see. All right, you guys, go ahead. Go first.
All right. Thank you, Nick, for that 10-minute soliloquy you just gave us about everybody. Shots were taken on multiple teams. We got to hear his opinion. So just to clarify, you were fully anticipated making some of your selections on draft day and then also auto-picking because you knew you'd be busy. However, you knew your fantasy football skills and mid-season management would prevail you regardless of whether you drafted your team or not. Is that accurate?
Yeah. I probably picked at least 5 of my better players, 4 to 5 of my better players, and then I kind of just got busy and sat back, and shit happened from there, and that's how I ended up with 3 Bucks players.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't think an auto draft was that stupid, but I guess it is.
Yeah, so everybody that was wondering about Nicky's draft status, he just clarified to you guys. I don't know how many of the previous podcasts you listened to, but through the weeks, everybody that I've had on, along with Sal, have basically said that they don't see you going down without a fight, even though you auto-drafted. You started off a little bit rough, and then you just hit a stride. You started making trades. You started making waiver wires. We said that you were one of the strongest players in terms of season management. You never just the way you said, you treat every game as a must-win, like it's a championship game, and you're never complacent with your roster. You're always trying to make moves and make it better, which a lot of people in the league aren't doing. So if you think you're down and out, take a look at Nick, take a look at Joey, because this league's crazy and you're never down and out. So yeah, just Baby Sal, you still there, buddy? We might have lost Baby Sal. All right. If we did, we're going to go on to the power ranking.
It shows he's here. It just shows he's muted out right now. Maybe he's moving something or something.
Yep, Baby Sal might be AFK right now. However, we're going to start the power ranking anyways. Nick did a nice little a breakdown of each team. But we'll touch a little bit more in depth on some of the things that we want to talk about. So starting at the bottom, I think this is a very special week because this is about the first time in, I think, the entire season where Ant and Big Boy aren't last. We have Junior last. The reason I have Junior last is because Big Boy's team put up 160 points and they spanked Junior. I think it was like 160 to 77 points or something like that. For those of you that don't know, 77 points in a full PPR league with a flex is absolutely embarrassing. Nick said it before. He thinks Junior has one of the worst teams. Everyone that knocked me trading him Austin Eckler, I think Austin Eckler is the only guy that's keeping him alive right now. Junior's team is really rough from top to bottom. Juju is not producing like he's supposed to. Dak Prescott, he hasn't looked the same since he played that easy schedule the first half of the year. Marlon Mack's okay, and the rest of his bench and his flexes are just terrible. Nick, I know you went in on Junior. Do you have any advice for him? You were a type of guy that was able to dig it out, or do you think he's done? Do you think that he can't make any more moves?
Sorry, technical difficulty.
Hey, my bad, guys. I'm in the bar covering for my brother tonight, so I'm around, but it'll be tough for me to really talk.
All right, so we got to time.
Have we gone through the 12 yet?
Yeah, we're touching on.
We're touching on who? I'm sorry.
Junior came in last
12?
place for our power ranking. He Big Boy smacked him 160 to 70. Yeah. So this is a big week.
Yeah.
So not to say it on Junior. See this coming. He had strong teams when the season started and went drastically down.
He wants to go to bed. He needs pajamas on. You're done doing this. Tell him to do it another day.
Is Baby Sal on air? What's going on? Sorry.
Baby Sal, it seems that he's in and out. So if you want to go ahead and shoot on Junior, I know you have a lot to say about him.
All right, yeah. So I got that power rankings. Has Junior last?
But
That's what I'm understanding here. Which I guess everybody's feeling the same way from the way I bashed him. I completely agree. I think his team's complete trash. I mean, he needs to make some moves to try to better. I know he did talk to me a couple times about making some moves, but his moves that he wanted were kind of stupid for me to make. You know, it wouldn't have made my team better. It would have made my team worse. So I couldn't help him out. But yeah, I mean, he can't give up because he can't make moves with a lot of other guys. I think he needs to reach out to like Luca Duccio or one of those guys in that middle of the pack that he's going to be fighting with big time. But don't give up to Juju and keep fighting, brother.
So the one positive thing I guess I could say about Junior is that he is 4-4. Although his points for is I think it looks like the second or third lowest in the entire. He's only one game out of playoff contention. We have to have
somehow.
Team where we have
I think that's just the luck of his matchups.
Yeah, so he can get a lucky week. I don't know if it's very long, so said make a move, Junior.
Still, you're cutting bad.
You got some cutting in and out.
That's better.
Um, Next after Junior, I have Big Boy. Although they are coming up, and this is their first win, so I couldn't put them up too high, but they did have a big week. One of the biggest in the league, if not the biggest. I think it was the highest scoring uh team last week. So yeah, shout out to them. Very, very happy for them getting their first win.
Shout out to me for giving them Mike Evans to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, they looked like they were down and out, but they still made some moves. This goes never too late to make moves. Obviously, the trade deadline's too late to make moves, but we still got another week, so get your trades in now. I think that playoff hopes for them is pretty much out. They'd have to win out, and they need a lot of things to go in their favor. But do you think that they could still, not come in last? Maybe try to salvage a 7 or 8 spot. It doesn't look like it's going to be a championship year, a playoff year by any means. But you don't think that they're down and out, right? You think that they're out of playoffs, but you think that there's some worse teams. We got Nick's mic muted.
Am I back?
There we go. Yep, Nick is back.
Looking at their team, they're really not all that bad. I'm actually kind of surprised that their record is the way it is. Running back, obviously, Joe Mixon is a major disappointment. Hopefully, Darius Geis will come back. Well, he will be back in the next 2 weeks. Hopefully, he'll pick it up for them, and he could play, and Mixon will turn it up for him, and they could start doing something. I don't think they're going to finish. I mean, with the hole that they're in, though, it's tough to say. It's really hard to call, but I don't know. I think they could salvage something out of it, and I think Junior. I don't know. Junior's been getting too lucky to almost finish last. So, but I do think that they could salvage something and not be the last place team. I do.
Right. Okay, so coming in at the 10th spot, we do have Joey. I do think I would like to say again, Joey has made a remarkable comeback. He towards the bottom of the barrel the whole season. He was actually on a 4-game winning streak. The only reason we still have him at 10 is because he has, but he's still 1 game out of playoff contention as well. Joey was riding a lot of injuries, waiting for guys to come back. Drew Brees got hurt very early on. Tyreek Hill.
He is right now with David Johnson.
Yeah. Devon. Then he also has. What else does he have here? Yep. David Johnson just got hurt, so this guy was was hurt. So he was, but Joey withstood the storm, and he made a remarkable comeback. 4-4. I don't think that he has one of the worst teams. I think that he's right around where he should be at. He's had a tough schedule, and I think that moving forward, we could possibly see him at a 7 or 8 spot. He should be shooting for that 6 spot, maybe the last seed in the playoffs. I think he's right up there, and he can compete with Luca Duccio, Nick Santuccio, Don, those kind of middle of the pack teams. So he's not far off. His points for are low, like I said, so it's going to come down to record. He's got like 100 less points than guys with the same record as him, aside from Junior. But yeah, going off that, I think that Joey definitely made a great comeback. Like I said, his team is solid. He has some studs, withstood the injuries. It just sucks that David Johnson got hurt, which was one of his first picks. But other than that, I think Joey has one of the better teams, and look for him to continue rising. 4-game win streak for Joey.
Yeah, you definitely couldn't have said that any better. Like I said, first thing I said when I came on here was to congratulate him on that. It's actually it should be eye-opening. Eye-opening. But yeah, he just has to keep it up. Hopefully David Johnson gets better and comes back strong, and then he's really a force to be reckoned with, Sal, your background noise is killing us right now, bro.
Oh, I just joined. My bad. How's it
But
now?
yeah, that's it for Joey. I'm a fan of Joey. Like I said, I did some trade work with him, and he's got it in him to make some strides and get it done and make a strong playoff run.
All right, moving off from Joey, coming in at the next spot, we got 12, 11, 10, 9 is Chris Camero. Chris Hansen is his team name. Chris honestly could be a lot higher, but he's in 11th place. He's 2-6, so I can only put him so high. But I mean, this guy's team should not be where he is. He's been getting very unlucky. His points for is higher than pretty much everybody above him that's in a playoff spot. Obviously, not the top teams, but he's got more points than Don Jr., Joey, and it looks he's breathing down Marky Mark's ass. And then he's right there, 5-10 points off of him and Luca Duccio. So, if he had a similar record, he'd be right in playoff position. But he's sometimes you get the shit end of the stick in fantasy. You have you put up a lot of points, but the guys you play just put up a little bit more. But as Nick said earlier, I think Chris has a solid team. He's got some playmakers. He's got guys that can put up points. Saquon Barkley and Adam Thielen are two of the greatest fantasy football players when healthy. I know Barkley was banged up early on. I know Thielen was just banged up recently, but he looked to have him back. Zach Ertz is a quality tight end, one of the top targets on the Eagles. So, he's always giving you.
What are you doing?
Deshaun Watson's such a point producer at quarterback, and he honestly hasn't even been having that great of a season. A little bit up and down, but he still gives you a great floor. He drops 50-point weeks every now and then, 30-point weeks. He's a beast. I don't think Chris should be down as low as he is in terms of the standings. I think we should look to see him continue to rise in the power rankings. It just sucks that he's in such a hole with 6 losses right now. He's probably going to have to win out in order to make a playoff run. But Nick, you talked about it earlier. You said that Chris has not been making a lot of moves. He's I don't know if you know him personally, but within the past few years of the league, he's been known as a guy who kind of sticks to his guys that he drafts, doesn't make any trades, doesn't make any waiver pickups. You're kind of the opposite. Do you have anything to say on that? And you think that hinders him as a manager?
Yeah. All right. So.
We might have lost Nick. Try to get him back. Technical difficulties.